Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I'm very pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. We're really looking forward to supporting your professional growth in this incredible industry. Now, when you think about bringing AI into a hotel, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it all the complex tech, the new gadgets? Well, today, we're going to dive into the human side of hospitality AI, and you're going to find that the biggest challenges and the biggest opportunities are probably not what you'd expect.
Okay, let's get right into it. When we talk about putting AI into a hotel's operation, our minds almost always jump straight to the technology, right? The fancy systems, all the data, the algorithms. But it turns out, that's not the real mountain to climb. The biggest hurdle we face isn't the technology at all. So that begs a pretty important question, doesn't it? If the technology isn't the main problem, then what's really standing in the way of using AI successfully in our industry? The answer, in one word, is people. The real roadblocks are completely human. We're talking about things like tech phobia, that natural resistance people have to changing the way they've always done things. And of course, that very real fear of being replaced by a machine. This, right here, is where the true work of leadership really begins. So how do we navigate these very real, very human challenges? Well, we need a solid framework. And that brings us to a core principle that totally reframes the conversation around adopting new tech. It's called the 80-20 culture rule. And this is a huge shift in focus. The idea is that your success with AI is 80% about your ability to shape the company culture and only 20% about the technology itself. Think about that. If you get the people part right, the tech part will almost take care of itself. And this isn't just some catchy phrase, this is a foundational concept for any hospitality organization that wants to thrive in the future. It really means you have to manage the change before you can even begin to manage the technology. Okay, so if 80% of our effort has to be on culture, how do we actually do that? The answer is in a structured approach we call the Change Management Playbook. Think of it as your practical, hands-on guide to leading the human side of this transition. This playbook is really built on 4 key pillars. Each one is designed to lower fear and build up some positive energy. First, you've got to communicate the why. Second, you need to use smart tools. Third, you implement in small steps iteratively. And fourth, you have to celebrate your wins along the way. So let's break these down. Let's talk about pillar number 2, using smart tools. Forget about those long, drawn-out training sessions that nobody remembers. To make this easy, the key is using something called a Digital Adoption Platform, or ADAP. Tools like WalkMe or WhatFix are amazing. They're designed to help your staff learn new software right there, in the moment, as they're actually using it. The absolute best way to think about it is that ADAP is like a GPS for software. Instead of just handing someone a map and saying good luck, it gives them step-by-step directions right on their screen for any task. This learn-by-doing approach just completely slashes training time and makes employees feel confident from day one. And that brings us to step 3, implement iteratively. Look, trying to launch 5 new AI platforms across your whole hotel group at once, it's a total recipe for disaster. The smart play is to start small. Pick a single pilot project. This lets you build confidence, get real feedback from the team, and perfect your strategy before you even think about scaling up. And now for the final step in the playbook. And this one is absolutely critical. You have to celebrate the small wins. When that pilot project works, let's say an AI campaign gives you a 10% lift in direct bookings. You have to shout that success from the rooftops. It builds this powerful, positive momentum that gets everyone excited for what's next. This really brings us back to the most important piece of communication. How you frame AI for your team is everything. It is so crucial to position it not as something that's here to replace them, but as a powerful assistant, a tool that's designed to augment their own amazing talent. Think of it this way. Let the AI handle what it's good at, right? The tedious calculations, the boring, repetitive data entry. That frees up your people to focus on what humans are best at and what's at the absolute heart of hospitality. Genuine care, strategic thinking, and real empathy. So, when you bring all these strategies together effectively, you've got clear communication, you're using smart tools, you have an iterative rollout, and you're celebrating the wins, you can finally achieve the ultimate goal of any tech implementation. You actually transform staff who might have been fearful or skeptical into your biggest advocates. They become AI champions. Why? Because they've seen for themselves how this technology makes their jobs better and how it helps them provide an even more exceptional service to your guests.
This human-first approach is what makes sure your big investment really pays off.
So, we'll leave you with this one final thought. Bringing AI into our world isn't just about automating tasks. It's about creating a massive opportunity. Once AI is handling all the calculations, the real question for you, the next generation of hospitality leaders, is this: how will you and your teams elevate the art of caring?